Hey everyone, Scott here to discuss Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3, starring Viggo Mortensen, William Butler, Ken Foree, Joe Unger, Tom Everett, Tori Hudson, Miriam Burden-Thery, Kate Hodge, and R.A. Milhilliff. I don't know if I'm saying that right, please forgive me. And directed by Jeff Burr. Now, because I haven't seen this before, let's just get straight into the movie. We see Leatherface, this time played by R.A. Milhilliff. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Please forgive me. Cutting some skin off to make a mask as he hears a lady. Then we cut to Michelle, played by Kate Hodge, and Ryan, played by William Butler, driving through Texas from California. That want to stop fighting. Then we move on to a crime scene, which isn't making much sense with the news reporters, and Michelle and Ryan drive by the crime scene, and we get them accidentally hurting and killing some animal, and I couldn't tell you what the fuck that was all about. And they head to a gas station to get some gas, and we meet Tex, played by Viggo Mortensen from Green Book and Lord of the Rings and that god-awful Psycho remake, which I reviewed those movies with him, and Tinker, played by Joe Unger, and from the original Nightmare on Elm Street, as he acts suspiciously weird around them as Tex has them to save them from getting Michelle and Ryan killed. And these are the most pathetic characters I've seen, including the main ones, and Tex, and I like Viggo Mortensen in general, especially in other movies. I brought up the ones I reviewed, and I did review them, not to forget about A History of Violence, which was another movie I liked him in, and I reviewed him in that as well. But these characters are pathetic, every single fucking one of them. A creep with the truck follows Michelle and Ryan purposely hit their car as they have a flat tire, and the creep gets closer and closer and attacks them with the chainsaw, and Leatherface cuts their trunk, and they get away. In the next scene, we get introduced to Benny, played by Ken Foree. And there's so many familiar faces because I've reviewed this guy before in the Rob Zombie Halloween film, but he's introduced as he's helping them, and he's a character whom I'm led to believe is a hero of the movie, but it's not enough for me to like this character, unfortunately. And he, with Ryan, saved Michelle's life, and Ryan comes off to me as the most dickish character I've seen from the movies. And Benny finds a stranger with a truck who gets to be the one that's after Ryan and Michelle to kill them off, as Benny knows there's something up with this guy and tries to run Benny over like he did Ryan and Michelle, and is encountered by Leatherface, but fights him and cuts a tiny cut on Benny's leg, and Michelle calls Leatherface out, and this movie is, oh no, that's not Michelle, that's someone else, but this movie is the same bad acting and written as any of the Friday the 13th movies, in my opinion, and it's as bad as any of those movies. Ryan is killed, and Michelle is going into a house, and the movie loses my interest when she arrives and she meets a little girl. We learn Tex is a part of the family with Leatherface, and as he's a sick motherfucker. Like Leatherface is, as he brings Ryan home to hang him, thanks to Tinker, who is chasing everyone for the most of the movie. And this is painful bad acting. Ryan awakes, and the editing in this movie is all over the fucking place, as we see Benny spying on Tinker, throwing a chopped off body in the water. We go back to the house where Leatherface gets a brand new chainsaw with a message about family, and Tinker treats everybody like a pile of shit. And I'm losing my mind over who's in what scene versus who's who, and at that point, I was brain dead, and I was ready to check out of this movie because it was hurting my head even thinking about it, for Christ's sakes. Benny finds the house where everyone is at to rescue Michelle and Ryan, who I'm guessing is already dead at this point, and dinner is almost ready as Leatherface is almost cuts Michelle off with the chainsaw until Benny shoots up the place with the gun, and Michelle manages to escape Benny as Benny gets her to run to the trees, and Leatherface chases her while Benny is encountered by Tex, and they fight until Benny toasts him and blows up the truck and Leatherface, while Michelle runs into a bear trap. As she gets out of it, and Leatherface almost kills her, but once again, Benny saves her life as Benny cuts him in half, and it's all over. And the climax, I just don't care. I hope next week is much better than this. Now it's time for the rating. I'll give this movie a 2.0 out of 10. The acting is bad. It's a poorly written as any of the Friday the 13th movies. And it's that bad, and it was giving me a headache by the end of the day. And these characters are just fucking pathetic. I hope next time is a better movie than this piece of shit. So I'd like to thank you guys for joining me. And next time I will be back with Texas Chainsaw Massacre, The Next Generation. And until next time...